Let's go by explaining if and ifs. Now, when it comes to if and ifs, if specify a logical test to perform. So now, if check a condition and returns one value if true, another if false. You understand? If checks a condition and returns one value if true, another if false. So let's quickly check and see what it will be. Then let's use this. Now I want to check this equals to if, then I will write my logical test. So my logical test will be D2 is greater than, still the same logical test, 50. Then now, the only issue is I will have my value if true and I will have my value if false. That is to say, a value will be provided. If it is true, if it is greater than 50, then I'll have a value that it will return. If it is lesser than 50, I'll have a value that it will return. So if true, let it return. So let it return past, right? Then if false, let it return failed. That is to say, if it is true that is greater than 50, that D2 is greater than 50, then let it return past. If it is lesser than 50, let it return fail. So let's see if this will run. Then yes, because the grade here is lesser than 50, is 45, then it returns failed. So if we drag it down to check others, you will see we have passed, we have passed, we have passed, we have passed, we've passed. And why do we have that? You notice that this is greater than 50, so that it is true. Uh, uh, if is working. So what about ifs? What about ifs? Now, ifs check multiple condition without nesting ifs. Now, let's use ifs. Is this still the same thing? The same thing with if. Well, this is multiple condition. If is for multiple condition. Let's assume we want to have multiple conditions. Like okay, we want to explain further. That is to say, let me give you on one. So ifs, then sorry, if the first logical condition, our first logical condition will be if now D2, this D2, comma, sorry, if D2 is greater than 70. Now let's classify it properly now. If it is greater than 70, then let it return distinction. Distinction. We want to know the level of, now we'll have our another logical test. So we still use the same. So we say D2, now D2 is greater than, or let's say D2 is greater than or equals to 50. Then let it return, let it return pass, or yes, let it return pass. We want to know those that are in pass section and that are in distinction level. So if now we do comma, so let's say if it is if D2 is lesser than 50, that is to say, we want to check if it is lesser than 50, then we want it to return fail. You can have other multiple logical questions. Let's just use three three logical arguments. So here are my arguments. I say the first argument would like this. Say if D3 is equals to 70 is greater than 70, then return distinction. So if it is greater or equals to 50, then return pass. Then here I say if D2 is greater or less than is not greater, this is less than. If it is lesser than 50, then return failed. So if we run this, you notice it's less than 50. So let's drag it down and see. So you notice that we have few distinctions and we have fail, we have passed. We have fail, pass, distinction, 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 failed, fail, fail, pass, fail, 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 pass, 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 and pass. So that is that about if and ifs.